Hello, my name is Max Drake. I want to talk to you today about this property information site that I've been developing. It came about because of this other software program called OpenMate, which is a facilities management tool for managing buildings. It's built on open source software, and it's a pretty powerful tool in its way. Unfortunately, the information on how to set it all up is pretty limited. The people who maintain the site try and encourage you to use them to use their resources, so they don't leave too much information out there. So I've been working away trying to find how to get it up and running as effectively as possible, and I've got quite a few posts regarding open maintenance. Anyway, one thing with open maintenance, because it runs about 4 or 5 different programs, all open source programs all together, it could be a little slow. There is a data storage area called Alfresco that it uses for storing information like drawings, emails, all sorts of other things, but it's quite slow. And that's why I started to explore using the property information page here. And basically my idea was with this is to have a lot of background information on your properties. You could put a front end security on here so that people have to log in so that it wasn't totally open. But since this is a demonstration site, it's not about that. I wanted a very clean site at the front, and basically I just wanted to show where the buildings were on the site. So this is one way of actually looking at the buildings or the properties that you actually have. Another button that we actually have is this second tab here, which is the property portfolio. So this one here actually lists all of the portfolios that the properties on the site. I've just got a few thrown on here because I'm demonstrating different things, and you can filter it by title, or you can filter it by type, or you can filter it by address. So there's a few filterable things, and this is from one of the simple plugins that we've got. So we can look at a property. We'll just go back to the home site at the beginning and use the map. You'll see that some of the icons have just got a little red dot, and some of them have got the plus sign. The plus sign says there's more than one properties of that particular area. I just want to use an example here. This has got the 2 properties, one above the other. I'm just going to click on this property just to show you some information that I've got in there. Inside this property here, it just gives you an overview of the property. It links to other images. So this one here is taking you to a site which actually has information on that particular property. You can leaf through and find the image that you want. Then you can either download the 2D, or you can download a 3D, or you can actually see panoramas of each of the buildings. This is another exercise that I did earlier on that. And the other thing that you can do, you can download the 2D PDFs. It's also got a map with the image so that you can zoom in and zoom out of that to find out where the property is. Handy if somebody's just trying to find out where the site is. There's also photos that you can put up, and again, I've actually got images of the plans so that they have dimensions. You can put a photosphere. Now this particular photosphere I think is wonderful because it just has a black bar. So it's only when you click on it that it actually opens the actual photosphere up, and you can actually see inside and see what it has. Now that's great because it doesn't give a lot of overhead to your web page when you're just looking. This one here also has static data, and I've actually broken the tables down into doors, room data, door data, window data, exterior data, and you can filter down by the number of entries that you actually want, 10, 50, 100, whatever, and with those you can filter down as well. Wherever that one's gone there, and you can do it by certain order, room numbers, or do it in reverse order. And so there's a lot of information, and it's searchable. The problem with these tables is they're static. They're actually loaded up from a CSV file, and you manually load up each particular CSV for each one. You can leaf through them. It's a nice little program, nice little plug-in, that one. So this has this information through here. That's just an example of one of the sites that I want to do. If you look at the About page, you will see it highlights different elements on different pages of what they're actually got. There's some CAD drawings, there's a central library that uses hot links, and it also shows embedded PDFs. That was another way that you can show ones. Like here, I can actually, if I click on level 4, but this one's actually just going to loop to this page because I actually want to show where I've done room data sheets for each particular room on this. And this is an embedded PDF that has 50 pages of PDF, and it gives a floor plan, it gives a 3D view of that particular lobby, and it gives some data on that particular room. And you can download this PDF. So if you go into site, you've got all that information, and you can just work your way through the pages for the different rooms that you actually have. They've got the door numbers, the window numbers, all of those sorts of things. So it's handy overall reference for what you need to do if you're going on a site. You could have other information on that as well. So that's on that particular one. So again, that about page, if I just sit back to there, shows different elements. This one here shows a dynamic database. The database is not the most elegant. It is pretty ugly because I haven't done anything with the headers, so the width of it are not poorly spaced out. But the principle is I can pull data from a database. So therefore, if you update a database, automatically on these pages, they update. You can actually have the database from Open Maintenance to actually say what work orders have been done on a particular building, and it can actually bring that information. So as soon as you go to that site, it's giving you data about what's actually been happening quite recently about it. So that's quite nice to do. Again, on the About page, we can actually have CAD drawings here. It's on this proposed bar one, and I've done a video on that already. And it just shows downloadable CAD files that you can download, and there's also a free draft site program that you can actually edit those and send them in, or you can measure them for areas or whatever you want. Again, I've also got the heat map of the roof, so just a demonstration that you can actually go through and do a bit of planning on your buildings and or on your properties overall, your portfolios. You can say, right, for 2000, come on sweetie, move along. Oops, gone the other way. For the year 2019, what properties are going to come up? And so we'll say equals 5. So that's things which I've definitely got to actually react to. So at the end, you'll see that there's cost information on here where it's actually been worked out by this another program. So you've got an indicative cost of what you've actually got to do on what buildings of properties that are going to have certain elements that are going to get to level 5 where you actually have to work on. Again, there's a video on that sort of thing as well. Here's also an open maintenance login point, so that if you're actually in the on site somewhere, you can either do an email support and email the help desk and say something's wrong, can you do something about it, or you can actually log inside open maintenance login. You can go and log in and go into and do a maintenance request to here, saying what type it is. Whoops, what's happened to you? Come on, sweetie. And this one here, you can start a maintenance request. So you start a maintenance request and you'd say it's a type, it's corrective, it's the requester is him, and the channel is I'm just doing it by whatever, and the gravity is trivial or minor. You can put in a description there, and that will start a process of doing a work order. That will then go to the help desk. They will choose, and the help desk could be anybody. It's whoever's managing this particular site. They will go through saying, yes, fix it, no, don't fix it, and they will then create a request through to a team, so they can plumbers, painters, carpenters, to go and do that repair. They then have a work order, they do the work, they repair the work, they bring it back again. So that's one way of actually using this tool. So here's another portal that you can actually use to access all of that. So I think it's a very handy tool. As I said, it's built on totally free apps, and it's just got a very simple front end so that it's easy to navigate through, and it has some explanations through it. I've done sort of a one-off of certain properties to demonstrate certain things on each particular property, but I would develop them thoroughly, but I like the overview map. I will make another video on the behind of the scenes of the main plugin and how you actually develop the property and how that property comes up to the initial map. I hope this has been of interest to you. Thank you very much for watching.